Good morning, welcome to a new week of your maths. Carrying on with our fractions unit as we have been so far this term. Today we are continuing to add fractions as you were doing last week, but these fractions are all going to have totals that are greater than 1, so there's going to be an extra step we're going to have to ensure we're going to take each time. We'll look for a few examples. Obviously, you can already see these two questions. If you want to pause the video at any point and have a go yourself, and then play it afterwards, please feel free to. So here we have 4/5 plus 2/3, and by now we know the first thing we've got to do is find this common denominator. To do so, we can list our multiples, and then we find, by doing so, our common multiple, and that will give us that common denominator we need. And I can see by doing this that I have got a common denominator here of 15. So 15 becomes the denominator for both of these. Then we obviously remember that rule: whatever you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator, or whatever you do to the denominator, you do to the numerator. So here we can see, to go from our fifths to our 15ths, we multiply by 3, and therefore, because we've done that to the denominator, we multiply our numerator by 3, which gives us 12. So 4/5 is 12/15. And then over here we have a look where we go from 3 to 15 by multiplying by 5. So because we've done that to the denominator, we have to multiply the numerator by 5, which is 10. So 12/15 add 10/15, therefore gives us 22/15. Now obviously this time, as I said, the answer is over 1. We've got an improper fraction. This is right, but we should be looking at making this into our mixed number. So it's concerned how many 15s go into 22. Well, I know that's 1 whole, because if it was 2, we'd be looking at this number being over 30, because 2 lots of 15 is 30. It's just 1. Our difference between 22 and 15 is 7. So in theory, that's our remainder. And it's still in 15. So 4/5 or 2/3 is 22/15, or 1 7/15. If we have a look at this example, we can do exactly the same again. However, the trick this time around, I could list my multiples, but my common multiple is going to be the result of doing 7 multiplied by 8 anyway. So I may as well go straight in with doing that. We know that 7 multiplied by 8 is 56. So we can deal with both of these being with a common denominator of 56. We obviously consider here, well, to go to 7 to 56, we multiply by 8. So we do the same to 3. 3 multiplied by 8 being 24. We then over here consider what we do to our 5/8 to go from 8 to 56. That's to multiply by 7. And then 5 multiplied by 7 is 35. Then if we add these together, we can see that 24/56 plus 35/56 is going to be 59/56. And again, we know this time around we've got to make that into a mixed number. So that will become 1 whole, because obviously there's only 1/56 that goes into 59, with a difference, a remainder of 3/56. So there we go. There's 2 examples for how you can do this. We'll look at one more example, particularly for those of you who want to give B a go today, or who should be giving B a go today, whereby you have 3 fractions added together, which links to obviously some bits of maths we've already done. Same principle here. You can list your multiples to find your common multiple. So we can go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But I'm stopping there because we obviously know even numbers, and we know a pattern that's going to emerge here, because with a 2 times table, obviously we're going to have more steps if we were to do that the same way. But we can do our 3s. We can go 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so I could keep going like this as well. And then my 5, my 10. But actually, I don't have to do this. This way does work. But the quickest way to find a common multiple in this case is to do 2 times 3 times 5. So 2 times 3 times 5 is going to equal 6 times 5, which equals 30. So actually, a quick way is now establishing that these are all going to have a common multiple. and a common denominator of 30, and we can therefore proceed to work it out accordingly. So looking at this first fraction, it's what do we do to 2 to get to 30? Well, we multiply by 15, and therefore that is the rule we have to apply to that numerator. So 1 multiplied by 15 is 15. We then look at what we do to this fraction's denominator to get to the new common denominator, and that is to multiply by 10, because 3 multiplied by 10 is 30. Because that's what I've done to my denominator, I do to my numerator. So 2 times 10 is 20. Finally, we then look at what do I do to 5 to get to 30? Well, that is to multiply by 6. So because I've multiplied my denominator by 6, I need to multiply my numerator by 6. 6 times 4 being 24. So I know here I have my 30ths, but what I need to do is now add my numerators. So 15 add 20 is 35, and then 35 add 24 is going to give me 59. So here we have 59 30ths, but obviously we know with that we can also convert that into a mixed number. How many 30s go into 59? Well, it is 1, with a difference remainder of 29, and therefore 29 30th. So now you know the steps to proceed to help you with either your A or your B. On your B, my help to you is here, it's one of these pyramids. So you know that this box plus this box will give you this answer here. This box plus this box will give you this answer here. This box plus this box gives you this answer here. So you may need to do here 7, 6, subtract 2/3, and that's just a challenge for you to apply your inverse knowledge and to approach it that way. When you've done your questions, you have your explain, your think, and your solve. On your explain, Annie is adding 3 fractions, and she uses the model to help her. Using this model and looking at what you've got, what could her 3 fractions be, and how many different combinations can you find? Okay, so consider this model. How can you use that to help you think about what 3 fractions she's got? Okay, I think about your answer in total, and therefore the different possibilities you could have to do so. On your think, very similar to the work from last week on a couple of these problems, you have a missing numerator on both that you need to do to work out the answer. Obviously, you can see all your denominators are different, so before you do anything, you're going to have to find that common denominator to be able to work it out. And then lastly, on the solve, the sum of the 3 fractions is 2 1/8. The sum means the total. So the total of 3 fractions is 2 1/8. The fractions have different denominators. All the fractions are greater than or equal to a half, and none of the fractions are improper fractions, and all the denominators are factors of 8. So what could the fractions be? So you have a few different facts in there to help you. So all the denominators are going to be factors of 8. Well, that narrows down your potential denominators already. So none of them are improper fractions, so you know the denominator is going to be bigger than the numerator. They are all greater than or equal to a half. So if you've got 2/5 as an example, well, that wouldn't work because 2/5, well, 2 is clearly less than half of the 5, so 2/5 is less than a half. And using that knowledge, you can work out how they get to the sum of 2 1/8. Obviously, we'll look at elements of this at 10 o'clock, but if you crack on with it beforehand and you need any help, make sure you ask. If not, we will see you at 10. Take care for now and enjoy.